What's up, guys? It's Wayne's World, and it's me, your host, Garth. And we have some awesome news for you this week at all of our Altus location. We're going to have DriveThru Halloween trick-or-treat event at all of our locations, so be sure to check our Facebook page for all the details, the times, and the location, because it's going to be excellent. It's going to be so cool, guys. Bring your family, bring your costume, get ready to have some fun. Hey, anyway, it's time for Wayne's World, or should I say DocTalk. We're going to have a real doctor, live questions and answers, so stick around, ask your questions, and get ready to have a rad, excellent time. I'll see you guys right now. Let's do it. What's up, Dr. Goffi? How are you, bro?
Party on, Wayne. Party on, God.
Hey, party on, swing. Hey, everybody watching, if you didn't know or didn't hear, we are having a Halloween drive-thru event at all of our Altus locations, so be sure to check out our Facebook pages. It's going to be awesome. Dr. Goffi, we're so happy to have you, man. Thank you for joining.
Oh, my pleasure, everybody. I guess I'm a little close to orange, I guess, on the Halloween there. Your costume's pretty kicking.
Oh, thanks, man. My mom let me borrow her basement for the so we are live, and Facebook. I hope you guys are doing most excellent today. Dr. Goffi, since it's going to be Halloween, a lot of people were suggesting we talk about Halloween topics. So today's topic is going to be the potential dangers of Halloween.
All right.
Somebody just said I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy.
So my first question I get a lot is,
sure.
Do you get a lot of ER cases on Halloween? Is it like higher than normal?
Most holidays you do. Christmas and Thanksgiving, you get kind of older patients, right? Like more diet related, like not eating well over the course of time. Halloween falls on one of those almost like 4th of July, like a lot of injuries. We get a lot of injuries. You let the kids out a little later. There's a lot of kids running around. That certain age range is riding their bikes and they probably shouldn't, and messing around on the streets, and people are going back and forth and running across. I know my 2-year-old, it took one house for her to learn that she can get food if she walked up somewhere. She was quick. Tweet, 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 tweet. So there's a lot of injuries. There's a couple of things a couple of days later, right? Like stomach pains, not feeling well, some nausea, even constipation. Ironically,
eating too much. Is that from eating too much candy?
Eating too much sugar, too much candy. But I think we should touch up. Definitely. I mean, I know kids are going to be wearing costumes, but that doesn't mean we forget typical bike safety. I can't tell you countless severe head injuries I've seen on Halloween, on holidays, right? Like Christmas, they got a new bike. And Halloween is because, everybody's kind of goofing around. You don't see a lot of burns like you do on July 4th, right, with the fireworks.
Right.
But you do see a lot of injuries. There's a lot of potential dangers with that. We've got to be really careful. People do have props. And sometimes kids are messing around riding a bike. And, if they're like a reaper or something, and I've seen, they're messing around with each other, and it unfortunately gets stuck in the wheel or something like that. And you can see some real serious injuries. I think it's important to make sure kids wear a helmet. May not go super cool with that Wayne's World hat or some of those other costumes, but usually those kids are wearing more simple costumes and they should still be safe.
Right. And plus, some kids may not can see good. You got to watch for cars, trucks, crossing the street. Depending
on where you are, right? I mean, sometimes the houses are so far away, it's easier to change costumes than to go to more houses. So you gotta be careful with what you're wearing.
For sure.
And make sure that you're being safe. And that goes for parents, right? Pay attention, right? I mean, there's nothing more tragic than, when a parent if they're on a golf cart or something, hits a kid on a bike or something like that, because it's not their fault always, right? Like, but please be careful, everybody, with that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned golf cart, because around here in the city, people love golf carts. I bet people are going to be out in full force with golf carts for Halloween. So parents, watch your kids. It's so easy to lose sight of them, and plus it's dark, and we don't want any injuries whatsoever. So
we actually had in our neighborhood last year. Kids were just messing around, and a bunch of kids jumped on a golf cart. Like 6 or 7 of them were on there, and it flipped because one of the kids was driving. So there's always something, right? We just got to be aware, make the kids aware that accidents happen, right? And sometimes these holidays, as parents, we let them do a little bit more than usual, but we don't set them up for success, right? Like, not saying that everybody wears a helmet in a golf cart, but you know what I mean. Don't you make sure the driver's not being silly either, so that they're safe.
Right. So the second question I got is, what is the most bizarre Halloween accident you've ever seen while you were working in the ER, if you can remember?
Well, that golf cart thing was pretty bizarre, but I will say that there was you can't even believe it, really. In Arizona, they do these, those segways, those Paul Blart things,
right? Yeah.
So in the lake in Phoenix, one of Halloween's, that there was like a massive amount of like college kids decided to rent them because they rent them there. And there was like a 50-person pileup, right? And a bunch of like broken wrists and legs. I just like always will never forget it, because it was like 50 people in the ER for a 50-pound Segway pileup. Wow. Like, this wasn't like an 18-wheeler, like this was a Segway pileup, and that's one of the more memorable ones. But nothing bizarre. But I did have a serious, unfortunate, like one of the kids who worked at I was at a trauma center doing actually rotations for school. And one of the kids fell from the second story and had a pretty bad head injury working at those haunted houses. He was in a harness and snapped.
Wow, man.
That was probably the most bizarre. Broke his arm, had a skull fracture, had a head bleed. It was pretty serious. It was very sad, actually. So accidents happen even when you think you're being safe, and that's the one thing, that you try to be as safe as humanly possible, right? But that was probably the most bizarre.
Yeah, being aware of your surroundings is so important.
Right.
So what happened to the golf cart guy? Did he have a brain bleed or anything?
No, all the kids were just all scraped up. One kid got hurt pretty bad because it kind of fell on him, so broke his ankle. I was one of the guys actually sitting down. That wasn't even one. As the other guys jumped off when it was flipping, and then left the guys inside not being able to, do anything. Unfortunately.
Right. Hey, somebody just asked. I know you do with people, but they want to know, can chocolate hurt your pets? I'm pretty sure that is a no-go.
So a friend of mine told me cheese and chocolate, and I didn't believe him because he's lactose intolerant. So I was like, no, I got to look this up, because my dog eats everything, and I love good M&Ms. I mean, so that's one of the things that I do for the year is steal all my kids' peanut M&Ms when they bring back their chocolate, because
that's the best. Those are the best.
Those are my favorite, man. But supposedly chocolate doesn't sit well with them. I guess it could cause like blood thinning for them or something like that. But anything in excess, right? So candy's not good for kids and stuff with constipation. But I know dogs in general, they're not really made to eat our diet. And dogs don't eat our diet, right? So if they get, it's not like our kids that, even though candy's bad, right? Be careful in the house with pets, because that's not something that's totally out and about, right? You don't normally have 20, 30 pounds, and some of that is you're actually giving it to people and they can get into it. My dog's a professional a professional opener.
Oh yeah, they can get to it. So make sure you put the chocolate and candy away from your dogs, your pets, because they can also get sick. So Doc, we're still in this pandemic. I think things are hopefully, kind of slowing down a little bit. But is it safe to go out and about trick or treating? You think house to house, we should be good to go, huh?
You're good to go. I think
outside.
I think life in general, with unfortunate amount of people getting COVID in Lumberton and the people who have gotten vaccinated, I think it's still possible to get sick from it. But like we talked about, that mental health, right?
Right.
This is good, and this is an actual open. I mean, it would be riskier, I think, to go to the World Series than it would be to go trick or treating. That's for sure.
Speaking of World Series, hope the Astros.
If anybody's got tickets, it wasn't
Astros. Hope they make it. Good luck, Astros. Totally all right.
I'm totally World Series.
If anybody's watching right now, let me know. Do you think the Astros going to win or the Braves? Write it below so we can, look at it later.
That's
right. So what do you do, doctor, if your kids choke on candy? Do you still do the Heimlich maneuver? What's the best way to, get?
So the Heimlich is specific to age, right? So we, when you any child, right, that can kind of stand up. So if you think about 40-pound, kid, the 50-pound kid, the Heimlich is really the way to go. That's a very important question. The infants, you got to be really careful, right? They're like they're snappy, and you can have a peanut M&M, or anything like that. You can have things in your pocket, and they're very good when you start picking them up, and you're going to be jostling things, right? If you are carrying a kid and they can grab it. So if it's a smaller child, you actually want to. So if you think of, this is a great question.
Oh man, perfect for Halloween.
There we go.
For Halloween.
Okay. So if you think of this as a baby, right? You want to put your palm kind of like right where their sternum is, right? Right underneath. So you kind of feel the stomach. So the soft part would go right there, face down, but angled towards the head towards the ground. And then you want to hit. You want to hit their back as you're holding them. And that's basically the rule of thumb. Instead of thinking about weight, is like, can I hold this person very easily and do this? And that's the way you should do it. And if not, then you're probably more than likely, if they're a lot shorter than you, you can, pick them up and do it, right? That means that you should be strong enough to do it. There's a couple extra moves with CPR, but I think if you get those two, you'd be good to go.
You're bringing back flashbacks of when I was at the hospital. They made us go over all of that when we had our babies here.
Yeah.
So I remember that now that you showed me that. So what happens? I just thought about this also. What if a kid eats some candy and they have an allergic reaction? For example, peanuts. Yeah. What do you do then?
Yeah, and that's a big one nowadays, right? I mean,
right.
Even though society has really done well with knowing about it, peanut allergies. I mean, sometimes because of peanut allergies, kids are seeing things that they've never seen before. They're like, "Oh, that looks good," right? And they don't always know that it has peanuts. I think if you know your kid has an allergy, if you don't have an EpiPen, this is one of those holidays that you should have one. Okay. Also, if there's any doubt, if they're coughing and they're having issues, go straight to the ER. Okay. That is probably one of the biggest things. That's probably one of the biggest, like, true emergencies outside of trauma associated with this holiday. I mean, we almost let our kids live in a bubble, right? And you got to be careful because if they're trick-or-treating with their friends, there's a lot of things with peanuts that you would never guess, right? Even homemade stuff, right? Like, cookies or something that people, make to go out of their way to do something special at Halloween. You just don't know if their kitchen touched something. And you got to be really careful. If your kid is old enough and trained, which they should be if they are, don't just hold the pen on yourself. Give it to them. They should be having it, right? You
Right.
know, and I think that's one of the biggest things to always, let them know how to use it and teach them. But
I'm glad you said that. So I'm always told there's a certain reaction. I'm going to always get it wrong. Is it anaphylactic reaction that is caused by
anaphylactic or anaphylaxis? Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. And, if you have any concerns or worries, guys, we have that free medical screening at all of our locations. And if your kid's in jeopardy, if your kid's in jeopardy, life's in jeopardy, don't waste a minute, guys. So
do not wait. Yeah, exactly. Do not waste a minute. I mean, and that's actually a good talk to think about if your kid is, allergic to peanuts, right? And you haven't had that talk for them to go out there, or had the talk for them to carry it themselves. Maybe, you just always have it with you. And make sure you have that talk before Halloween. That's for sure.
Right. So since we were talking about
or
that,
get a refill, or come and get a refill. I'm happy to write
it. For sure. Somebody just asked, let's see, is it good for the parents to go through the candy bag? Well, since we're talking about this, hey, if your kid may have allergic reactions, I think it's a good point for your parents.
I think if, almost as if, I wish they made a bag that you could put stuff in, but you can't until the dad unlocks it almost.
That's right.
If my kid was allergic, but I mean, I think it's very important. I think it's good awareness of seeing what they got, and if you're driving by the neighborhood and you say, oh, this is all the candy you got. It's like, well, these people didn't have any. And then you know what your neighbors were up to.
And then it's a parent's tax. We got to take some of the candy and keep it for ourselves.
How else would I know if there's peanut M&Ms or not?
That's right. So guys, it doesn't hurt to go through the bag really quick. Hey, I don't know if it was in the 90s. Was it the 90s when they were putting razor blades and candy and all that stuff was over the news? Or
yeah, that was crazy.
Don't get ideas, guys.
So yeah, be careful. I don't know why this just popped up, but I remember as a kid, it was one of my first Halloweens, and my mom, was looking through the bag, and there was like a little, the old school box of raisins, the little box of raisins.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I'm gonna have to clarify this because I remember this is all I remember from my mom. But she goes, "Well, you have to check if the raisins are good. You have to drop them." And I don't know what. And she said it in Spanish, and I don't really know. So I just remember grabbing the box and dropping them. I said, "Are they good, Mom?" And like. Right. I'm gonna have to figure that out. What she meant by dropping them. Maybe somebody knows how you check if a raisin is good.
I don't know, but when I would look at those boxes, they were always like stuck to the side. I was like,
that's
if they don't shake, they're not good.
That's why I don't like raisins. They're just too hard to get to.
Right. But for sure. So I guess how much candy do you know when? I guess you got to know your own how much you can take. But when is a good cutoff for the kids? When do you say no more candy? Because you don't want to get them constipated.
Oh man, I know. It's Sunday. No, right? It's Sunday.
Is it Saturday? Or let me check. I don't even.
I think it's Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're right.
I think it's Sunday. I mean, remember those sugar rushes? I mean, I think, no matter what, it's always a late night. I would just, it's kind of tricky to tell kids not to eat candy, right?
Right. They'll fight you. For
right. I mean, but the biggest thing is really the guys, make sure you eventually just throw it away.
Right.
I can't tell you countless times, you just don't throw it out, and then they're just eating it all day for weeks and weeks. And I think that's the real excess problem. The one night, I can't say I haven't binged on a few too much, ice cream for the night, right? But a lot of times you're just going to crash after that sugar rush, which is one thing. But it's just like my kid will, hoards it, I mean, and it goes bad, right? I mean, you need to throw it out.
Right. I think you had said before, as soon as you start eating sugar, what is it? Is it the pancreas that starts just going crazy, getting all that sugar?
Pancreas releasing a bunch of enzymes, but eventually that sugar drop, that sugar rush, you're gonna pass out pretty good. But I would say parents, please be vigilant on them hiding it everywhere, and then You have this kid that then gets constipated, dehydrated, or all these things, or even just bad old candy, right? Like not all candy is good for a long time. So almost like make sure it all goes into like a jar. You can almost watch it go down or something in the kitchen.
Right.
It'd be better than letting them just roam free with it.
Right. The bad thing is it's Sunday and you got to go to school the next day. The teachers are not going to be too happy.
Yeah, they're all going to be tired.
Kids are going to be passed out from their sugar rush.
That's right.
But anyway, Doc, one last thing. If you're watching and some of the guys, you're worried about doing the traditional house-to-house trick-or-treating, even though I think you're going to be safe, like the doc said, because, you're out in the open and whatnot. There's also going to be all kinds of things like Altus. We're going to be doing the drive-through trick-or-treat where we just give you the candy so you don't have to get, as close in contact. There's all kinds of different things going on, if you don't want to, do the traditional house-to-house. So,
there's some memories that you'll never be able to do again, right? And that's your kid's first Halloween or things like that. I think that you can have an incredibly fun, adventurous Halloween and cover all your safety. Okay, you can cover COVID, you can cover the safety of, God forbid, an injury. I think of all holidays, this being outside, I think this is one that you can just have an absolute blast of a time. Follow your comfort level, listen to your gut. I'm sure that if you're worried about something, you're more likely to not take it too far. And I think more importantly, just be safe and have an excellent time. And Wayne's World.
Party time. Hey, excellent, guys. Hey.
I felt like saying it right there. We're there to back you up at Altus, free screenings, whatever it is that you need. Yeah. But please, sometimes we're missing life a little bit too, right? And we want to be safe. And we can back you if anything happens. Okay.
That's right, guys.
We're having enjoying some family time and seeing the grandkids in a costume. I think it's just necessary that especially with all the stuff we've been dealing with. This is my little girl's second one, so I'm not gonna miss it for the world, right?
Go enjoy it, man. Go have fun. Memories you can't get this time back.
Can't get it back.
Well, Doc, thanks, and I appreciate you for joining today, man. I hope you have a happy Halloween with your family. So we'll see you next time, boss. Thank you. Hey,
take care, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Stay excellent, man. All right. Oh, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Just like the doctor said, we have that free medical screening at all of our Altus locations 24/7. We're here for all emergencies, guys. If you have any emergencies on Halloween or any time, come see us. Don't put your kid's life in jeopardy, your life in jeopardy. Every second counts. Watch your kids this Halloween. Have that EpiPen ready to save their life if they have a reaction. And if you need us, we're here. Call us. We'll have the red carpet rolled out, and we'll be waiting for you guys. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're about to turn this broadcast off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay excellent, guys. Thank you.